What's quacking, everybody? It's me, TheTary, joined by Marsh today for some more quacking action. And I do gotta say, even for a Shallows match, this should be a good one. King's Court versus Kappa Corp. Test on production. Marsh, break it down for me. What are we doing today?
Well, apparently this is a Smite game, and I was invited to it. So I'll be honest. Hopefully this is gonna be some third-person stuff, and we're gonna be seeing some gods, maybe some Arthurian gods, even. You know, those aren't to some people
Hmm.
they are gods, to some people they're not. I truly don't know, but this should be a pretty good game. This is a Shallows division. As you said, it is the King's Court versus Kappa Corp. I don't know much of these teams, I'll be honest, but when we load in, hopefully I'll see some names that I know and some people that I can maybe shed some insight on. But other than that, I'm looking forward to this.
You could be our light in the dark as we head into ban phase. And I do gotta say, I believe the last patch we got a few minor buffs, if memory serves. I can actually pull those up really quickly, but also with the recent patch change, reverting to 9.5, everyone's kind of, trying to figure things out still, especially when you see gods like Lancelot, who weren't in 9.5, who are now kind of had their own unique, identity once more. They're going to be banned out immediately, though, and that makes a lot of sense to me, at least.
Yeah, he is just absolutely dominant right now. Lancelot just does way too much damage. Has that giant cripple field. It's just annoying to deal with, and having to deal with that as a backliner or even a frontliner, there's only certain things that can actually get him off of his horse. You're gonna be forced into certain picks that maybe you just don't want, right? So just have to be careful on that lands, especially if you can't play it. Then yeah, definitely ban it out.
Also see a Charybdis and a Medusa. So a lot of physical characters, mostly hunters so far. Capcorp deliberating on their next ban. And this is far and away from what I expected. I expected with a squishier meta, we're gonna see mages take a little bit more precedent. You really want to, either pick or ban those high-powered mages. Instead, we're gonna see Kukulane, who can be a menace in that solo lane, so much pressure, and getting them out of the way. And then an Ixchel, so finally a mage who can really turn out that damage.
Yeah, Ishil is probably is a very strong mid laner right now, and Kakolan, I understand that being banned out with the best solo laner right now, other than Mulan. Kakolan still wins that
Wisdom shall
matchup
be
against
my
Mulan. So
shield.
if you ban Kakolan, hopefully Mulan's off the board. Otherwise, they are going to pick up Mulan. But it looks like Athena's going to get first picked. I'm kind of surprised. There are some better picks in my opinion to be first picked here. But the Medusa, I understand getting banned out, and Charybdis is just it's a niche pick. I wouldn't say it's good, but it has the pressure. But Sobek being locked in for the Kappa Corp and hovering Cherno. What do you think about the Sobek? I'm not a huge fan.
I have come to cover this land in
It depends on where that
darkness.
Sobek goes. Personally, I I like Sobek personally playing him. Picking him up
Time to
immediate off rip, I don't think you pick up a
burn.
Sobek. That's a little bit of a head scratcher to me because that's going to be the CC you have to look out for. That's going to be one of the frontliners to look out for. Capricorn might be trying something silly, bring that Sobek into solo lane where maybe the
I
King's
will
Court
win
don't
peace by
initially
force.
expect Sobek. Sobek does have inbuilt anti-heal, which could be helpful against certain gods. But showing that on the table
It
now
won't
means that
matter.
King's Court can either pick around that or at least be mindful of it as they do.
Definitely. Yeah, I could see it happening. But we see Agni and Thoth being locked in along with the Hachi. I like the Agni Thoth. They both give that high pressure, good poke in mid. I'm surprised we didn't see a Chunga or a Zongquei because those guys just run mid lane right now. They can finally two tap people like they used to. Thoth and Agni, not really two tap. They do have to use quite a bit more buttons, but a little bit more safe. So I definitely understand the safety. But the band's coming out rapid fire as a Wheelix Kama, a Daji, and Achilles. Looks like one team just wants the jungler not picked, and the other team can't decide jungler or solo.
Ooh, and no, we won't be getting a Sobek solo. That's gonna be Cthulhu being hovered, and that says to me that we're gonna get a Cthulhu solo. I feel like Cthulhu is much better in solo than he is support. Sobek can flex a little bit. I still think he's a better support than he is a solo. But either way, we're just missing our jungler for Capricorn. King's Court has banned out 2 junglers already, 3 junglers even, if you look at the Lancelot from the initial. But King's Court going to be looking at that Basset and Wukong. So they're going to have a very traditional, oh, well, maybe hovering the Wukong. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, Wukong getting locked in here. So Monkey Man in the 5th slot. And I do got to say, for a traditional lineup, it still looks pretty good. Nothing too out of the ordinary. And I do like what they have going on. Just some pretty high, or not, some high value picks. Maybe not a lot of synergy between them per se. There's nothing that immediately jumps out to me as like, oh, this is going to be a 1-2 combo that you have to watch out for. Maybe that Basset hitting the back line and Athena jumping in on it. Maybe the Wukong hitting the back line, Athena jumping in on it. But either way, it's mostly just high value picks from King's Court. Kappa Corp going for something a little bit different with that double Guardian, and Ravana being the last one to be hovered. This speaks to me that they want a lot of safety as well.
Take
Yeah,
pleasure in crushing
it does get
one's
locked in,
enemies.
actually, and I like Ravana. He's very good in this meta right now, and everyone's getting blown up. He has a lot of CC. He has beads, his 2 immunity, and then his ult to jump over and give him that CC immunity again, and also mitigations on his ult. The god's great. He's overstated, and if anyone did play back before 9.5, this god ran solo lane as Ravana. I loved him. I loved him in the solo lane. Jungle, he's good too, but building that 1-2 defense items on him, you just don't die. You push 4 and you don't die. It's insane. But I like the comp more on Kappa Corp right now. I think the only thing I would have changed on King's Court is I would have probably swapped Athena for Terra and maybe Wukong for Guan Yu. I don't know what it is, but I feel like everyone's been sleeping on Guan Yu since after that 9.5. He hasn't been doing very well. So everyone kind of forgot that guy kind of does a lot of damage. And not only that, but he prot shreds, gets beads, can easily chase a Thoth. There's a bunch of things, and he doesn't die. So that's the only thing I probably would have changed on King's Court. Kappa Corp, it looks just safety. And hopefully if this Sobek doesn't miss pluck, he'll live. But now we got reverted. Sobek, if you miss pluck, you're instantly dead now. That's the sad part.
Blue. Just don't miss, I guess, is the game plan from Kappa Corp. That being said, Sobek, assuming they do miss, there is still some chance, especially because they're going to be the support. They're looking for, mostly Peel, and then maybe they'll set up a pick or two. That Cthulhu is going to be hitting the back line. That's going to be the big one. I think if the roles were reversed, I'd be more worried about the Sobek. But
I don't
with
know.
the
I think the Sobek's going to initiate a fight with the pluck. All
and
these
then get
fights,
punished
every
for it,
fight,
yeah,
every
I
fight, we're
mean,
gonna see the Sobek initiate the fight with a pluck. If he misses, he's gonna die, or he's gonna get his ult forced out and maybe live on 1 HP. I've seen it all the time. Cthulhu doesn't really initiate the fight. Blink Cthulhu ult, everyone just focuses him. He can't initiate a fight. You need a disruptor. You need someone to get that disruption. Unless that Thoth gets some really good poke onto the back line, maybe even the front line, because Sun Wukong's probably gonna be building what, half damage, half tank as usual. Sun Wukongs do. Could be looking on for a front to back pick with this Kappa Corp. Honestly, with how much safety they have, the only one that's not truly safe, I'd say, on their team is Thoth. Especially
and
against a
even then,
Bastet.
yeah, that's true. Bastet looking to snipe, going to be playing that jungle, lurking around. This is really going to be a match of discipline. Both teams are going to need to show quite a bit of discipline to get the most out of their picks, I think. Maybe Kappa Corp more so. I mean, both having to hold on to that ult for the right moment, but not just keep it in pocket forever. Sobek with that pluck, needing to just line it up, make sure the team's ready to go, not be overly aggressive with it. Just, wait for the right time to pluck. Capcorp has to have a lot of patience and know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to, wait and bait. So, with all these moving factors, right? And we're looking at the matchups. Is there any of these matchups in particular that you think could be an issue, just one on one in their lane or in their role, that you think maybe one team won over the other?
Definitely. I think Cthulhu should win that solo lane against Wukong. Cthulhu just has that he just has that dog in him, you know. He's got that dog in him. No, but Cthulhu just has that innate guardian stats, whereas Wukong, yeah, he's going to be doing a little bit more damage, but Cthulhu just has that passive. He's going to be building up those mitigations. I think Cthulhu should win that solo lane matchup against the Wukong. You can't stop you can't stop his Mire anymore as Wukong. So once that Mire is pushed, he's gonna force a dash, And Cthulhu at the end of the day could really run the lane. So if Bastet comes over and camps the blue buff on Cthulhu, I think that'll stop the bleeding, but it won't stop the late game Cthulhu, as Hachi's really going to be the only one that can kill him.
Oh, true. And the other thing that's going up against Wukong is that he's going to have to build magic procs for this Cthulhu, right? There's no other way around it. You're gonna
Yeah,
have to answer the character in your lane, and
definitely.
that
That's going to
gives
be mismatch. Yeah,
yeah, and
mismatch
Ravana
protections.
has yeah, so Ravana's gonna come and jump, be an issue. Bassett can't really do the same. I mean, you might see Agni try to make some rotates, but and lay some artillery fire. Agni's not the worst at rotating early, not my favorite. You definitely don't want to rotate too early because if you do that, you can put yourself on a really bad foot, and sometimes you just never recover from that. So King's Court have to be mindful of that matchup. That's the one you pointed out. That would probably also be my big matchup. I will say, when you look at the support matchup, with when this Sobek goes in and plucks, I think again, like you were saying, if he misses, he dies. Mostly because the Athena is there to immediately taunt. I think that's the big punish, right? Is Athena's going to be playing the peel, going to be playing, up front. That Sobek's going to go for a plunk. If they miss their pluck, or if they, even if they hit, sometimes it may not matter because the Athena taunt's going to be following up right then, right there. And I mean, that's going to be a difficult issue if to solve because you can't just get up close without getting taunted.
No, definitely gonna see how that goes. If he misses the pluck, yeah, he might get taunted in. But if he hits that pluck, Athena's probably gonna hopefully taunt the backline so no one can deal the damage to the person that is plucked. Mind you, Athena could be the one that gets plucked and gets damaged. That dash is not instant like Sobek pluck; it's a charge. Um, so yeah, we're definitely gonna have to see how that matchup goes. It's more of we'll see how everyone positions. If everyone positions properly, this could be a game. It could be very back and forth. Probably see a 30-minute game, 40-minute game. But it all depends on positioning. If both teams just aren't positioning well, we could be seeing a 20-minute, 24-minute game.
Yeah, Shadow's division does just swing that way. Both these teams are going to have to step up to the plate. Unfortunately, we're going to send it to a little bit of a break as both these teams are getting ready, looking at their matchups, talking it out. And when we come back, we'll get right into the action. back straight into the action. Would I ever lie to you? Don't answer that. So, Marsh, now that we're hopped in, no surprises from the looks of it. How are we feeling about this? And we're talking about seeing the names, seeing who's actually in the lobby. And now that all 10 players are in the lobby, I gotta say, I don't have anything to say actually. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, so Pancake on Agni. Yep, could have seen that one coming. Kai in support. Okay, I'm surprised Kai in support instead of ADC, but Llama and ADC, that's fine. Over on the TKC side, Cricket Stick's okay too. Playing Bastet can't really go wrong. And I'll be honest, everyone on Kappa Corp, I know no one. So we'll see how it goes, I guess. But everyone on the TKC, I kind of know somewhat of. So yeah, kind of want to see what's going on, but it looks like Athena's having a little bit of disconnection issues.
What? We were talking about needing to hit those critical plucks. Gets plucked and takes half their health for it. And another one. Not able to get out in time. Dab Llama will get the stun off. Kai manages to get out. Takes a lot of licks for it though. And that's a rough one as the Athena to take so much damage. But it looks like Carol gets caught out here as the mid rotates to help in the jungle fight. Will die. Elite Sniper in the duo lane does manage to get the trade onto the enemy carry. And Kai has to back because of that. Mid lane not looking great. Both pushes back out. Nearly gets punished for it in the solo lane. Flash Gordo dropped low. Needs to play this passive, and Zitan needs to back away under tower. And wow. So much action going on, but it does eventually show a Kappa Corp favor.
Yeah, definitely just got to be careful on those rotations, especially in the jungle. As a jungler, you got to see who has the lane pressure out of the two, right? Where I guess technically the Ravana made the right play. Thoth should have had better clear because Agni can't dash the lane. So kind of wondering how Thoth got out rotated or out cleared. I guess. But yeah, the solo matchup, that made 100% sense. Like I said, it's just that Cthulhu versus that Sun Wukong just gonna have that early, mid, and late game. Just gonna have to camp the Cthulhu's blue buff, and if we don't get camped on that blue buff for Cthulhu, he's gonna run the game, and that's gonna be a scary time, especially with Hachi already having a death on his belt.
Yeah, already a lot of moving parts in this game. 2 minutes in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Capricorn did also get the first blood, so that little bit of a bonus.
They did not.
Not even really showing.
They did not get the first blood. Bastet got the first blood, and then they answered back in duo lane.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that must be why the gold difference is so minimal. I mean, looking at it right now.
Yeah, the gold. Yeah, all the gold is currently on Bastet.
In favor. Wow. Okay. So, Flash Gordo starts to fall back for the blue. Takes quite a bit of damage, but not as much as Crooked Stick. We were talking about how, the prots mismatch, and we see that there. Flash Gordo not taking a lot, and manages to go and get their blue buff just fine and dandy. So, everywhere on the map looking not too great for Kings. Looking too great for Capricorn, even though they have the advantage. Except for solo lane, I say. Sorry, what am I saying? I'm getting the teams confused. Too many KCs. All right, there we go. Lock it.
Red versus
Everyone.
blue. Here we are.
I'm gonna start calling it red and blue. Okay, yeah, no. Capcorp definitely in favor here. They have a level advantage everywhere, from the looks of it. Except, oh wait, no, actually, Agni has the XP lead in mid, despite. Okay, that makes sense because the Agni. Okay. I'm sorry. Trying to process all this information. We'll get there.
It's okay. One of these days, it may not be game
Marsh,
one.
you should be telling me what's going on. I honestly can't.
If you want to talk, I will let you talk. If you want to fuck up, I will let you fuck up. That's what I'm here for as chair number 2. We're just going to take some poke damage. Nothing too much is going to go on. I'm surprised about this Ravana. This Hachi still has his horse to get out. But yeah, majority of these engagements right now is just the King's Court trying to make up for their screw ups that they had over in the side lanes. And the best thing that they can do right now is just secure their farm, not die, not take too much poke, and attempt to poke the enemy team because they're going to want to be aggressive. But Athena dashing, taunting in here, kind of a little bit awkward. They don't really have that much of clear. I think he's going to be taking a lot more poke here. See, this is the positioning I've been talking about. You know,
Oh,
just that positioning, it just gets him killed. You can't dash taunt into full wave. Not with the build that you have. Not this early in the game.
Can I try to ult out? That's
No,
what it
he
looked.
ulted
Oh
away already.
man! Dab. All
Uh,
right, we look away for a second. Elliston managed to secure that kill. I mean, Sobek does pack quite a bit of a punch. One of my favorite things about Sobek is that for a Guardian, they still hurt. And I mean, I believe it's the achievement on Sobek even is called "That's a Tank," and it's all about getting a kill as the support. I mean, Sobek is one of those OG aggressive supports. Really wants to bring that damage alongside everything else they bring. And we see that there, managed to secure that kill, already having 2 assists, initiating a bunch of fights, and really putting Kappa in a swing.
Definitely, definitely. Just gonna have to play this lead over in duo side for Kappa. Their solo lane is winning the lane by themselves. Mid just has to play Thoth and just try and secure things that they can, and just as long as they don't lose the lead over in solo lane, I think their duo lane's fine. Their duo lane can even die once or twice, and I think they'll still be a-okay. He's got a 2-level lead on the ADC, a 2-level lead on the support. The duo lane's fine from here on out, as long as they don't get their purple invaded off cooldown, but it looks like a gang's happening over in dual lane too. Subek's already there.
Dab's gonna have to. The dash canceled out. Going to have to use the ult, and still takes the worst of the damage. Elliston was going to rotate to mid lane, and he goes in. That's insane. The Athena doesn't even make it in time. An elite sniper snipes Dab Llama at a tower.
Yeah, looking at a 3-man rotation, trying to capitalize on them being greedy here, and it's going to happen. I don't know. Eternal does have the ult, does have the dash to go into the wall here. It's only a 2-man gank. The only one that might be in trouble here is Sobek. Does end up falling. I don't know about this. If we continue fighting.
Carol. Yep, here comes Carol on that Ravana, and Crooked Stick taking a lot of damage. Carol goes in, does manage to secure the kill. Kai not able to peel for them, falls back to Pancake Trousers and Dab Llama coming back from the fountain, but they can't get any damage, can't get any poke. They're just going to rotate back, take their objectives in the jungle, and chill out for a moment. Try to regroup, figure out what the best course of action is, because right now, they're really hemorrhaging, especially over here in the duo.
Yeah, this is going the way of Kappa Corp. I'd say Kappa Corp control that poke coming from Thoth. Gotta respect. He has that full item online, whereas Agni still has that T2 Doom Orb. Gotta respect that Thoth damage, especially at level 9. That one should be maxed out, unless he put that extra point into maybe his glyph, maybe his dash. Don't know. But still, that's still a lot of damage. Just have to respect, especially on that range on Thoth. Kappa Corp gonna get their first BDK though. Not bad. 8 minutes in, second BDK falling. A little less than what I expected, but not too bad here. Kappa Corp still playing very well though, playing with their level lead more than a gold lead. Their level lead isn't that too much. Like I said, it's just in dual lane right now. But at King's Court, defending what they can is really good. Just defend what you can. And again, don't lose your buffs. Look for an invade here or there. Maybe they just need to get some wards on the enemy camps and look for an invade. Try and build that lead back up to themselves. That'll probably help them out a lot more, especially over on this duo side. It doesn't look like you're going to be able to steal this blue. It looks like they're on the timer for the first 8 minutes at least. Maybe after the first beacon fight, they might be a little bit more lax. But this duo side, it doesn't seem like they're clearing their buffs as much, this Chernobog and the Sobek. Those buffs have been up for quite some time, actually, and they're just doing it now.
Yeah, to get ahead is one thing, to stay ahead is another, and you can't let go of the easy stuff. You have to keep getting jungle. If you can steal jungle, that's impressive, that's great, but you really gotta focus on, get a couple kills and then stay farming. You don't want to lose your lead. There's a lot of teams who will lose early. They'll lose early fights, and then they'll farm up and they'll come back. And it's almost like a strategy at that point. That being said, strategy for Chernobog is to get out of dodge. Elliston doing a lot of damage with this ult here, but actually Elite Sniper comes back to the ground and then gets put under it. Elliston pushes back in the tower with a pluck. Kai taking a lot of damage, hoping the tower will kill them, but that Athena is just too tanky. Carol hits onto Dablama, does not secure the kill, will have to ult for it, and now in the 2v1, may manage to get more, will indeed get the Athena. Can this Basset get away from Carol? They're a menace right now, going for the triple. Thoth, final judgment, charged up, put back in the pocket, and they're going to let the Basset escape with their life.
Honestly, good rotation by the King's Court, trying to capitalize, getting the kill, getting the shutdown on Elite Sniper, on this Journal Bug, and then also killing the Sobek. Mind you, you do lose 2. I take that as a win. That Journal Bug was on a killing spree. I mean, going on the way of the Ravana, getting a double kill over there. He's now on a spree himself. Just bringing one just real close on that plug, just almost there. But definitely getting into these shutdowns, because the shutdown gold, shutdown XP was not taken away, mind you, in the 9.5 patch. The only thing that was put back were these HP bars and these prots. So these shutdown gold, shutdown XP does get you back into the game a lot faster, and with everyone being easier to kill, I'm surprised we're not just focusing these Guardians out on their rotations, being away from their team. I'd be doing this a little bit more, just killing these Guardians, and BDK getting pulled.
BDK getting pulled, but Elliston gets pulled by the Basset ult. I did not manage to see who took the BDK.
It looked like Kappa Corp actually did get it.
Kappa Corp does secure it. Flash Gordo to the ult. And that Curse Weaver going to try to put in a lot of work here. Now, 3v4 in the jungle. Basset comes back to make it a full 4v4 count. The carries dueling in the duo lane. But a lot of damage trading out either way. Kai drop low. That's the Athena. Have to pull back. Wrecking Logic onto the bird. The bird put away. And now 3v4. Kappa Corp, though, pushing. They have the health advantage. They do think they can secure more kills, but Dablama will get another kill of their own in the duo lane. And the fight in mid lane seems to have ended. Kappa Corp pull away with losses. And they're going to try to go for some steals in the jungle. Carol looking, but only a mana camp to find.
That fight went really bad, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just missed ults or bad time relics. Thoth died with both relics up. Or probably just beads. Didn't have that Aegis, as he's 12 now, so probably got the Aegis after dying there. But even losing the fight in duo lane, we see Chernal had the full rage when he died too, and lost the trade. I'm surprised. Maybe just RNG, just different. Agni Bomb just go burr. But a fight over on the beacon, Soba getting poked out here, really low on the HP. But still looks like they might even capture the beacon here as Kappa Corp.
Antangelus letting some artillery fire down, making sure Pancake Trousers can't push up, and Pancake Trousers realizes very quickly why Thoth is so scary. It's called Final Judgment for a reason. They haven't even pulled it out yet. And that being said, Kai trying to fight and stall for Beacon, for maybe their team to rally, but no one seems to hear their cries, and the Beacon will go to Kappa Corp. So Kappa Corp doing a great job of securing these objectives, and yet they're behind in the gold lead all of a sudden. They've been struggling a little bit with their farm. They haven't managed to steal anything. They're starting to lose fight and lose bounties, but there's still the kill difference. There's still that team fight potential from them. So how are they going to leverage that in the future, as it seems they're going to actually lose this next BDK?
Yeah, I like these BDK calls. Constant BDKs getting pulled is great, in my opinion. It's a lot of gold given to your whole team. Mind you, if you can get every single BDK, that's 2,000 gold to each of you. But that's getting it off spawn every single time. So going to be very hard, especially, but it's 2-2. Blink on the bad stack goes onto the stop. Oh my god, a lot of damage on that jump. Ult comes out, misses the mark, hits the Sobek. Probably going to drop the fight here, honestly, now that you hit the support. Might poke him out a little bit, but doesn't really think. I don't think they kill here.
No, they're wailing away on the crocodile, but now it's all uphill here for uphill for King's Court rather. But Pancake Trousers managed to get Elliston, and I didn't see them. No, they didn't lose anyone. King's Court are behind enemy lines and firing on all cylinders, forcing the entirety of the mid lane fight to back and Dablama to rotate. Now they're gonna be able to pull for this Gold Fury, 5-man strong in the left jungle.
Yeah, this is just free gold. Chernal can try and steal with his one, not going to be able to do it. Yeah, He's gonna have to dash away, run away. Sun Wukong looking for the chase, ends up turning into Bird, sadly. Forcing the ult out, not too bad. Take that as a win. Just get out of there, honestly. Yeah, fight's kind of fizzled. Pretty unfortunate fight over there on the mid lane for the Kappa Corp. Missing that final judgment. Not too sure if they were just off the mark or because of it was a pluck. I know some ultimates and some abilities can miss if an enemy is knocked up into the air. Do have to be careful of that if that is the case. But definitely just, I think Kappa Corp, we're trying to fight because that Ravana was coming in, but just wasn't on top of it. It looks like some people wanted to fight, some people just did not want to fight. Maybe just a calm issue there, not too sure. Bastet looking really aggressive here, having no mana. Getting the ult forced out of Cthulhu, though. I guess that's a huge win.
Yeah, for someone with no mana jumping in and saying, hi, I'm here. I guess the Cthulhu reacting instinctively, making sure to pop ult and not take too much damage before they get all of the goodies that Cthulhu's ult brings. And maybe hoping to swing that fight, but no. Just gonna lose the ult. Elsewhere, looks like Dablama might be in a lick of trouble here. Carol in the back line does some damage, forces the ult out of Dablama. So they have managed to trade some ults around and going for a Void Steal, but this is going to be a fight. Everyone's rotating over here. Carol drop low, jumps through the wall. Elliston is here on the prowl, but 4 strong now is the King's Court, and Kappa Corp have lost a lot of health on their jungler, so they're just going to pull back for now. Crooked Stick still looking for something, though. They think they can maybe force the issue here. They're going to actually try to go for some jungle steal, jumping around the missed pluck. Elite Sniper is pulling up for this fight, and Crooked Stick backs away. So a little bit of jumping around, a little bit of showing off, but not a lot of damage traded back and forth right there.
Yeah, it looks more like damage check going on right now before these next fights. Looks like Pyro might be the next fight here. King's Court trying to get it set up for that. Just unfortunate invades happening from both teams, kind of just back to back on that dual lane side. As yeah, Pyromancer is getting pulled. Looks like Sobek is sniffed it out, and Ravana's on his way, but 4v2.
Oh no, that's the steal. But the artillery shells come out. Carol's gone dead to Kai. That'll be a great way to catch up. Flash rooted on the blink in, jumps in, immediately disposed of, but Tantalus drops everyone low. But no dice. Kai and Pancake walk away with a shred of health. Crooked Stick with barely anything to speak of. But they do keep their lives. Just enough, hanging by a thread. King's Court come back and now have a solid lead on their hands.
It is a lead. It is a lead, that's for sure, but it's not that much. It's still relatively even in the XP field. Gold lead up by about a K we see here. But just do have to be careful of that XP lead. That was just very unfortunate by the Cthulhu. Blinking in, not doing anything, just saying hello, CC me, and then dies. That is not what you want to see from your Cthulhu there. Very unfortunate. Looks like a beacon fight is going to be happening here. Cthulhu dashing in, taking quite a bit of poke from this Agni. Not really going to have to worry too much about this. Cthulhu is level 16. Bastet coming in from behind. This might be a really big fight here.
Yeah, and over a beacon. What even does the beacon do? Flash Gordon. What does it do but give us a little bit of XP and gold? I've never been able to
movement speed, tower damage.
Okay, it does quite a bit.
And
so
it stacks up. It stacks up.
Flash Gordon to the ult at very low HP. Okay, so this seems like a Kappa Corp trying to run away with everything they got, and they don't got a lot. Flash Gordo dropped low. This tower doing some damage, but not enough. Wrecking Logic onto Tantalus. And so 2 kills come out for King's Court, and they're definitely going to secure this beacon, likely to take this tower of Gold Fury, whatever the call may be. It does seem they're going to rotate for a Gold Fury pull here, but like you were saying, I didn't quite know what the beacon did. I feel like every time I get it, it does nothing for me, and then someone turns into Super Soldier on the team, and the team gets it. So
yeah, so it gives movement speed, it gives damage on the towers, and it also does damage to the tower that is up right now. and that also does stacking. So the more you get, the more damage it's gonna do later on. Mind you, if you only get one and it's the one at the 30-minute marker, I think it does like 500 to 600 damage. So it will always destroy towers, but it will always leave that Phoenix, I think, at a 100 HP and won't get any lower than 100 HP. So it's
Yeah.
really good destroying towers without you even have to going in and auto attack them essentially.
Yeah, that's always nice. I do know that if all the Phoenixes go down, it deals damage to Titan, but when are you ever going to be doing that? That being said, Kai jumps in the fight with a taunt, no one to follow up. This is a lot of posturing around the Fire Giant pit. King's Court do currently have control of it, should they wish to pull, but might be ill-advised for now. Every member of Kappa Corp is up. King's Court pulling ahead slowly but surely. They didn't have a 4K gold difference, but this fight not going in their favor. Kai taking a lot of damage as soon as everyone else pulls back. Wrecking Logic, though, into the backline on the Carol. Dropped low, but set Bleed will manage to secure that one. Flash Gordo forced to pop ult on the Cthulhu. Descent into madness we go, but Flash Gordo now being attacked by 4 different members. Wrecking Logic will fall, but that is 1 kill for 2 so far, and Flash Gordo will fall. The trades continue to go in King's Court favor, and Kappa Corp are forced back despite using everything they have and taking the fight in their jungles.
Definitely just an awkward fight for Kappa Corp here. It's still going on, honestly. They're looking for another pick, maybe gonna force FG here. Nice, gets a great pick onto this Sobek here. Good damage coming out from this Journal Block onto this Hachi. Good body blocks coming out. Beads coming out as well. He really wants this kill. If he kills that ADC, they're not going to do fire, but it looks like that actually helped out. This Athena just face tanking as many autos as they possibly can from this Chernobog that has crit. Everyone just barely lives. Athena gets out, backs it in front of Ravana's face, lazy backing, and just trusting it too. Just the disrespect on from King's Court giving towards the Kappa Corps. It looks like Ravana over here trying to look to pick somebody, trying to find someone lazy backing, just like the Athena. Might be positioned a little awkwardly here, pretty deep into the enemy jungle here. Gets their beads forced out pretty late, uses the 2. Just gonna try and run away as best as they can. Kind of missed out on quite a bit of farm. And I think that's what Kappa Corp needs to do right now. They just need to farm and hopefully steal with a Thoth ult on this FG. Taking these fights just don't look all that well right now. Your Cthulhu is not tanky with this build. Does not have that many prots, especially with this Hachi that has starter and crit. This Hachi's going to be hitting like a truck. Definitely need to either stop this Hachi, kill him, and then fight, or look for a pick, look for relics, and then fight. You have the poke advantage, but getting double taunted by an Athena here into the jungle is just not the greatest decision.
Yeah, Pyromancer being kind of fought over here. Tantalus in mid lane actually will take the first death. Elliston just not tanky enough to withstand 3 members of King's Court wailing away on him. And the Crocodile will be here back in a while. But for now, Flash Gordo trying to hold T2. They're not going to be able to hold for long with that HP bar, and they're going to have to forfeit this T2. Carol, nothing to say about it. And this, this Chernobog, I want to say Kamazots for some reason, these bandits. Chernobog not rotating until late, not using their ult either to do so. They simply try to farm up in their own lane. And now, level 20, they will join the fight, trying to get some people to rally with him to maybe try to steal his Fire Giant. It's going to be too little too late, most likely, and yes, indeed it is. King's Court now have the FG. 23 minutes in, they're going to take Pyromancer, and Kappa Corp are simply just regrouping right now. They don't really have a way back into this fight. They can't take any of these Fire Giants away. Crooked Stick might give them one, but no. The set's going to back. And King's Court with a massive advantage there.
Yeah, it didn't look good at the beginning for the King's Court. Definitely cleaned it up. You know, Hachi getting that solo kill over on that duo side. Getting these objectives constantly as King's Court, grouping as 4, sometimes 5, and winning these fights, just getting out by the skin of their teeth. Majority of these fights is just looks like luck smiling over on King's Court right now, as Kappa Corp really have to play this defense very well. they have to not only farm up. The Thoth went Book of Thoth, third item. I don't know about this. You're overcapped on flat pen with Thoth passive. Um, not a huge fan of this right now. And then I don't know. Looking at builds for both teams, the Athena has anti-crit already. Great. It's what you need. I'm not a huge fan of the Prophetic Cloak, but hey, it's at 27 out of 30, 24 minutes in. That's not bad. I'll take that. That's more than a stack a minute, and that's what you're kind of looking for on this Prophetic Cloak. Kind of want it stacked around the 25-minute marker, before 30, ideally. So it looks like it might even work out. Game might even end here if King's Court play this right.
Now, there's still a few T2s to go through, but with everyone having a Fire Giant buff for a little bit longer, I think it's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It goes away at the Fire Giant respawn in 30, correct?
The Fire Giant buff goes off in 2 minutes. When the Fire Giant is going to be back up in 1 minute is when they lose their buff. Yeah, it has a full minute of no Fire Giant buff before it spawns.
Why did I think it was 30? All right.
Yeah, it's exactly 1 minute. It used to be 30. I don't know if Aztec gets picked here. Maybe playing really aggressive here. I don't know why.
Is cooked. Yeah. Oh man, the Athena ults in, and honestly, that might give away the Athena too. Trying to get the Bassett out of there. And meanwhile, King's Court just dealing with these T2s, making sure to do their due diligence, take all the objectives they can. Extra gold makes the waves just that much more threatening. You now know that should a few team members fall, the next thing being looked at is either a Fire Giant or a Phoenix. A lot of these objectives are at risk here. Kappa Corp cannot forfeit any more fights. They cannot lose any fights that they should win. Cannot lose any important fights. There's just a lot of things they can't do right now, and giving away all that damage is one of them. Elliston takes a couple of shots from the Agni. Seems mostly healthy. Will back to fill their HP bar, as HP is a resource and a very important one if you're support. So I want to be topped off on that going into this next fight, which is most likely going to be that Fire Giant coming up in a minute. Oh, sorry, no. Fire Giant coming up in a minute 40, Fury coming up in a minute. So either way this breaks, still an important fight coming up that you want to have space and control the area around for before that objective comes up.
Definitely, as everyone on the King's Court is going to be getting their final item here, slowly but surely, just going to get that final build. As we saw probably about, what was it, 7 minutes ago, there was about a 1k, maybe about a 2k lead at most. And now, yeah, so 7 minutes ago, like I said, 7 minutes ago, there was about a what did I say, 2k lead, about a 1k lead. And then now, 7 minutes after, we're at an 11k gold lead. That's a lot of gold in their pockets. Like I said, everyone's going to be finishing their build. They're going to be hitting it like trucks. Everyone has their starter items. Mind you, everyone now on Kappa Corp is also level 20, but just don't have that gold to get their starters. Ravana, Thoth, still waiting on to get those. Don't have their final items either. Athena probably has a lot of gold in hand, honestly. Still hasn't back. Still hasn't gotten more than one stack, by the way, in 3 minutes. Don't really like to see that. Might go for a poke.
Oh, whoa. Gordo is in, going to descend into madness and throw out as many abilities as they can, but they're the one taking a lot of damage. They're gonna have to pull back. This is not a great spot for the Cthulhu to be in, and it's gonna get worse as the Bassett jumps in on them, does so much damage. The Wukong will alley-oop, will not secure the kill. The fight pulls in the other direction, though. Elite Sniper is very low, just takes one good ability, he'll be gone. But Elliston, also on the Sobek, very low, needs to pull away. It does look like the Cherno will get away in time. No one focused on them, instead focused on these objectives, the correct play. Get this Phoenix, get what you can, something permanent. It's going to stay down for quite some time, and indeed, the Phoenix will be burned out.
I did have to use both of their bombs to secure that bird, but honestly not that bad. Didn't get the best bird that you could obviously hope for, which is that dual lane, that one bird that is farthest away from this Fire Giant. But getting this Primal Fury going to make you do more damage to this Fire Giant 1 minute before EFG spawns. It's going to help with this shred. Definitely a good pickup before backing, but the Kappa Corp did hear it. If they were fast enough to just group up and do that FG, they could have shredded it. The Chernobog and Ravana were there. If they just 5-man grouped and did it, you can see that the King's Court had no wards over there. But just Kappa Corp didn't want to kind of pull the trigger, ask, hey, anyone sleeping, anyone awake? Probably could have shredded it in time, honestly, because it wasn't EFG. As it looks like Wukong just got there now and had 30 seconds before anyone of the King's Court got over there to even look, mind you, even place a ward. So if Kappa Corp did just kind of bum rush it, I think they could have stalled this game out a little bit more. I don't think they could have won it with that Fire Giant, but probably could have stalled the game out a little bit more, got their bird back, and went from there. But we're gonna see another dance around this Fire Giant. It is EFG. Uh, if I'm Kappa Corp, I can't give this away. You are Thoth. You have the confirm with your ult. You just need vision, and you need to be able to step up.
Yeah.
So
They
have
do
to see
have
how
a
this goes.
lot of vision. They don't have anything in the pit itself, but you can see the words surrounding just on the outside of that sentry ward that was placed. But the fight, Kingscore's going to take the fight to them. A plot to pull the Cthulhu of all people into the back line, and they will immediately be punished. Gonna go in with the Sun Wukong ult, and Carol tries to hit the back line, immediately deleted. Tantalus, the next target, falls in a blink of an eye, and Elliston, the tank, is gone. It's gonna be all up to Elite Sniper. No EFG needed. King's Court, 5-man strong, gonna walk it down mid, and I do not think the Cherno has it in him. Can he get anything done here? Can he stop the onslaught from inside of the fountain? And no, it's gonna be game one. King's Court reigns supreme.
Yeah, that game, you could have told me, Kappa Corp would have won that. Looking at the draft, looking at what they had, I would have believed you. And you know how they played that early game, I would have believed you. But TKC coming out, pulling out that win, having the great lead, great synergy, great team fights, just all around great game one. A little hiccup in the very early game, but that's perfectly fine. Some teams do have a little bit of a hiccup in the early game, but pull it back, get their wins, and actually play the map properly. Getting those objectives, getting the farm, and just keeping that lead going, which is what they did, and glad to see it.
Yeah, a lot of times there also I noticed it felt like at certain points that Kappa Corp kind of just sat there and took damage. Like a lot of times they would go to either do something, there'd be a Sobek pluck, and one person would die. But no one would really re-engage, no one would group up and take like a good fight. It felt a lot of times they were playing too passive, and King's Court got in their face, and Kappa Corp were not ready for it. I think at that point, especially that last fight there, Kappa Corp were okay. We'll let them start the Fire Giant, and we'll wait to retake. We'll try to steal. We'll contest it somehow. And then King's Court said fight, and then Kappa Corp gloves down just got hit by a haymaker, and then another one, and then by the third or fourth they were already knocked out, and King's Court just kept wailing.
Yeah, for your Cthulhu to die instantly for to CC, you don't have beads as that Cthulhu solo laner. You don't have beads, you don't have a bubble, and to just sit there in front of 4 enemies and not expect to get CC'd is mind-boggling to me. Especially with that build, you are so squishy. All you have really is HP. Looking at that build, not too much prots. I guess the starter does give that mitigations, but you're squishy on Cthulhu there. Um, so very questionable positioning by everyone. Kind of was a little bit too far up from his team. Some things in these fights could have maybe changed the fight, but like I said, TKC just played very well, positioned well with the team. Everyone just 5-man death balled and were on point with their targets. Everyone hit majority of their abilities as well, which is what you can ask for. Great all around on TKC's part. No issues whatsoever. Um, if I'm Kappa Corp and you're playing against Pancake, just ban Agni. that's
No,
that's just
we're
Pancake.
not doing it, please.
He's an Agni player. Just it's the easiest thing. Just ban out the Agni. It's just one of the best things you can do right now. And Tantalus, he had a good showing on the Thoth, great poke. But I don't think any of the final judgments kind of connected, which were very needed in majority of these fights. Everyone just getting out with 1 HP, not getting picked up, which was just unfortunate. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Definitely gonna have to bring this back to the draft board going into game two for Kappa Corp.
Well, as we bust out the markers on the whiteboard and get to drawing out the game plan, we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what these teams can do going into game two. And hopefully, we're going to see some swings back from the Kappa Corp, as there will be another round. There will be another fight that they're going to have to show up for, or they're going to be out of this in two. Until then, though, we'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere. Once more, we are making a splash here. Map 2 on the docket. It's me, Terry, joined by Marsh and Tess on production, and Capcorp TKC. Well, there's a lot to talk about after that first game, and I feel the biggest one we're talking about a little bit during the interim, but Curse Weaver on Cthulhu. You had some thoughts on that, Marsh, and as we get into the pick and ban phase shortly, why don't we touch up on that a little bit?
Yeah, first item in this meta, everyone's squishy. It's just not good, honestly. I think it's a bait item. Has a very long internal cooldown, can only proc on one person. It gives no prots, gives a little bit of health, doesn't give you that pen. Like I think going Warlock staff probably could have been cool. It gives you that percent pen, gives you a lot of HP, mana. But Curse Reaver first item, just not making you tanky, not giving you the damage that you want. I think it's just a bait. I don't mind it being built later into the build, but first item is a little bit troll. If they want to bring the Cthulhu back, I don't mind it. Just build prots, build prots, because you are not tanky anymore in this meta. Like you have to build prots right now. If you can kind of see who did play 9.5 and who didn't, who came to the game at year 10 and who played before, with how everyone's not only building but how everyone's positioning, how everyone's playing the game. So definitely gonna have to see about how this goes in game number two. I think the frontliners either got to be a little bit more tanky, and maybe the back line just got to trust the front line. I don't know how Capcorp's going to come back into this, but I do know that they are first pick, so kind of want to see who they opt for.
Yeah, when you could secure your first pick of the litter of the multitude of gods. I mean, what's the number? We're past 100, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're at
We're
like
at 100 and
140, 130 around that
we got
marker.
100 plus gods to choose from. You only are missing 6. So you really wanted this first pick. Normally, I say you really want to go chaos, get those 2 picks in. Of the remaining, you want to get those 2 major picks in. But Capricorn have apparently one god in particular, or they just like the ban order better. Who knows? Either way, but we're still not quite there yet. Oh wait, no, we are there. Oh wait, no, all right. There's a wave. Hey, wave. All right, we've washed up on the shore of the ban phase. King's Court going to be banning second. Agni, the first ban, and as you were saying, that makes a lot of sense. Pancake Trousers needs to be stopped, and Lancelot, much the same.
I wouldn't say Pancake needs to get stopped. It's more of it's Pancake's one and only god. You take it away from him, and he's just a regular mid laner that can play other gods average. He's known
He
as
loses
as
some
as
scrap.
an Agni one trick. But we're rapid firing bans right now. Kappa Corp, taking out, like we said, the Agni, the niche pick, as I'll always say it, Charybdis, 8-second immunity is stupid. And
What
seeing a
shall I
Terra
create
ban,
next?
considering no one picked it and no one banned it last time. But it looks like King's Court does still opt for. Actually, they did opt for this time the Mulan Kakolan. That means E Shell does get through. I like the E Shell pick, but I need to see the comp around it, and I need to see both comps for me to tell you if E Shell's good or not. Because E Shell, yes, is a very strong melee, very
Distance
good,
shall be my
good
shield.
poke, good heal, good CC. Everything you want out of a mid laner is just
Look into my
yeah, see the
eyes.
King's Court. Just get the best ADC in the game, Medusa. The most broken god right now, in my opinion. It two hits people. It's a mage with auto attacks. It's better than Freya. It's better than Soul. It's better than Kronos. It just hits too hard.
Death comes
I
by night.
will always appreciate the irony of
May the
Medusa and
gods of
Athena being
Valkyrie
a
surround
legitimately
you!
amazing combo. I mean, there's nothing more menacing than being taunted into a Medusa ult. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But
Time
there's
for
a
some
lot more going on
fireworks.
there. Just 2 very powerful gods being followed up with by a Baba Yaga. So I get to make all sorts of housing market and real estate jokes that I want for the time. X-Ball and Odin being picked up by Kappa Corp. I do like the X-Ball. A lot of safety in that god, but also just a menace with those autos and has some pretty good range for a hunter really getting out there and poking with some of those autos, and especially with those bolas. Odin also great solo laner. Might end up in the jungle. Most likely will be the solo laner, and I want to see what King's Court bring to that matchup because that's a very important matchup as we saw last time.
Definitely, definitely. And if I was the King's Court right there, I'd be banning out Noelix. You already know the rest of your comp on the King's Court is going to be getting jumps. They have not picked their jungle on Kappa Corp just yet. You could still opt for the Awilix on the Kappa Corp. You could opt for it on the King's Court. You don't have any knockups, but you could always just pull the Odin and make sure Odin never jumps. But Wheelix is a very strong early game god. I know we're talking about this after the fact, just me and you. But early game is the meta right now, and no one knows the meta. Everyone just knows, hey, you're squishy, you die. So anyone with an early game pressure is great right now because no one knows truly what is meta. Just whatever is great at poking and whatever does a lot of damage in the early game. And Wheelix is one of those gods. So if one of these junglers can play Wheelix, Camazotz is also one of those junglers as well. It's very good. I like the Camazotz pick, but now if I'm Capricorn, I'm definitely pulling out the Wheelix. Yep, there you go.
Yep.
See, done deal. Oh,
I can't wait for this comma to try and jump, and we'll just say no, die. Because I mean, okay, let's be clear. A Wheelix with the ult could kill things before the patch pretty quickly. I don't expect there to be anything left this patch. Once a Wheelish hits you with that gravity surge, you're just gonna hit the ground, and then you're just gonna keep falling. So Capcorp gonna lock in their support of Geb. Do like to see it, especially with that synergy with the Wheelish. You know, that little tiny knockup, interrupt an ability or two maybe, but then you just get plucked and absolutely destroyed. Synergy isn't everything, but all these gods bring a high enough value on their own. I mean, we're talking about the Ishel, Wheelish, just strong gods, even when you don't have possibly the kit around them. With this, I definitely think Capricorn have a very strong comp. King's Court have one chance to show me with their soul laner what the answer is.
I don't know if Hercules is the answer here. Honestly, I don't like the Geb on Capricorn.
Really?
No, considering we saw how he played on Sobek,
Say
which was
my
ultra
name 3 times
aggressive,
fast,
and then
and
putting
I'll
him on
punch you in
Geb,
the face.
is Geb in his god pool? Considering how aggressive he was,
Hmm.
I don't know how I'm gonna see this Geb. That's the only thing where I'm like, you gotta show it to me. You gotta show it to me. But yeah, Hercules over in the solo lane. I don't know. I like it. He's a good god. I think there's better picks right now, in my opinion. I probably would have liked to see maybe a tier would have been nice. Honestly, maybe even someone to pull out beads a little bit easier than an Athena taunt. Yeah, Hercules can pull out the beads with his pluck, with his dash. But there's really no one else pulling out beads on this King's Court comp other than a Herc pluck dash, a Medusa ult, and an Athena taunt. Camazons doesn't have any CC. Baba doesn't really have any CC. So this King's Court kind of lacking the CC, whereas Kappa Corp has a lot of CC here. We have the knockup on E Shell, Root on E Shell, Odin stun, a Wheelix knockup, Root cripple, knockup by Geb, pull by a Wheelix, stun on Geb, slow on Geb. They have so much CC. Like on paper, Capricorp should win this, but I just don't like the Geb only because of how he played. Only because of how they played. I don't think the Terra band should have been there in my opinion in the first 3 from Capricorp because like I said, no one picked it, no one banned it game 1. I think you just could have let it through and maybe picked it up for yourself. You already know they were going to run the Athena back. The Athena had a good showing. Um Definitely gonna have to see how this game goes. You know, like I said earlier, I didn't like the King's Court comp before. I liked the Kappa Corp's comp last time. And they just proved me wrong. You know, it could happen again. You know, Caster's curse. I'm sorry if it happens, Kappa Corp. I don't know what to tell you. But on paper, your comp should win.
All right. Well, we're gonna get in the game, really see what either of these teams are cooking. Baba Yaga's got a kitchen. They got a house, so they're gonna be cooking very well, especially with those potions. More like brewing, I suppose. But
Does she have a
semantics.
kitchen? Does she?
I
Look,
would hope you'd have
look how small that house is. I think she can only barely fit in that house, just her herself. I don't know if she has a kitchen in there, let alone a bed.
I thought it was bigger on the inside.
Is it? Have you been in there?
I got invited over for tea once, but I was a little scared.
Yeah, I understand too. You know, I wouldn't want to go inside a hag's house either.
No, I would not. All right, so we're talking about this Geb, and you mentioned Ellison the way they play. They play so aggressive, and Geb's kit really doesn't favor that all too much. You could play a more aggressive Geb than usual and be somewhat
He
successful.
got the
But if you
blink.
try to,
He got
yeah.
the blink for the aggression. I'll give it
Oh
to him.
no.
Mind you, if he gets his dash caught and gets horrific, and he's doesn't have his shield up, man's kind of dead. So we're gonna have to see how this goes.
Yeah, the rock turned to sand very quickly.
I don't like how Wheelix got her too, but I'll take it. Ishel also got her too. I don't like the start, but hey, if it works, it works. I like the 3 on a Wheelix a lot more. Does more damage, has the range poke. I like the 1 on Ishel. Has a shorter cooldown, can use it twice. But each their own, each their own. Dual lane, I like the Expo pick only because the bolas. Yeah, it's that extra bit of poke that they're gonna be able to have. The lane clear is gonna be a little meh, but because it's that we're back at everyone's squishy now, that those extra bolas are gonna stack up. That extra little bit of damage is gonna add up. This mid lane fight kind of looking more on the side of Kappa Corp this time, as Baba Yaga took half their HP on the first wave.
It looked like for a second Ellison was going to step up in the duo lane, and it looks like he's not scared whatsoever, even getting taunted there. Pulls away. You were talking about, oh wait, oh in mid lane, Carol, can he get it? Get the secure, the wheelish with the opening pick on the pancake trousers. Baba Yaga not able to get away, does not quite have their dash back yet, and that's going to be a very strong opening pick. Looking for another in the duo lane, but it might go the other way. Elite Sniper forced to Rising Jaguar back, and Elliston does not have the damage to pressure the Medusa. Can only hold Kai at bay on that Athena, but still just trying to help that wave clear. Elite Sniper trying to finish this off before he potentially pulls a little bit back and tries to get that region going.
Yeah, good first blood over in the mid lane, especially going on to the Willix. Gotta be a little bit careful here, but oh my god, the damage. This is the one, but it hits it again. Gets the jump out. Perfect. I love it. I love it. Just this is what you need. Baba Yaga just doesn't bring that aggression in the mid lane. Can't really take the fights in the early game, and not until they have ult at least. Where Kamazots can bring the aggression in the early game, but just not against no Wheelix. That Wheelix just has better early game than a Kama. This mid lane 2v2 right now. Ishel, a Wheelix, Kama, Baba. On paper, it goes to the Ishel Wheelix. They just have more damage, have more CCs, and oh my gosh, a kill over at in duo lane does get the dash out as Medusa. Didn't catch the dash. As a lot of people know in the Smite community, you don't have to stand in front of Medusa to catch her dash. You can literally stand right beside her and you'll catch her dash. Good poke damage onto this link by the Kappa.
You're insane for going in on that Kai, but you're gonna get away with it, and Elliston is going to be crushed underfoot. Oh boy. I thought from the get-go that the Elite Sniper was silly for trying to body block as the carry on that Medusa being so low health. That's not what caught them out, though. It's the gank from the Gamma and that over-aggression being pushed all the way up to the enemy tower line. That's going to be what eventually gets them. Flash Gordo struggling in this solo lane right now. This boxing match going the way of Hercules. He is absolutely hammering away. Flash Gordo just trying to secure under tower is going to have to do that just to make sure that they stay safe and alive. They do hit level 5. That will be something to speak of, and they're going to back and get their items, but Capcorp right now, they are a little bit behind. And that is simply for the fact that they showed a little bit too much aggression and got punished. They just need to take a step back and breathe.
Honestly, this is to be expected from solo lane. Odin doesn't win lane. He's not a lane winner. He's I'm gonna hold down the lane. Essentially, it's like a Sobek in the solo lane. They don't win lane, they hold it down. and they don't lose it either. They just, I'm gonna be here, and I'm here for late game. I'm here to be a team fight god. Hercules, on the other hand, wants to bully the solo laners to kind of get that aggression, trying to get that lead. Odin doesn't really let that happen though, but he does see BDK getting pulled here. Does he have a boulder? He does. Tosses it a little bit early, off the mark, and Kappa Corp do secure that.
Just went to play a little bit of beach volleyball and is not punished for it, but dealt some damage at the very least. Can say that they dealt a decent amount. Most people maybe think
Can
twice.
confirm that he helped Kappa Corp clear it.
Can confirm. Well, he dealt damage to Kappa Corp members, is what I was saying.
I guess.
Give him a little bit. Give him a little.
Give him a
He
little
might be dealing a
nudge.
lot of damage here to Flash Gordo, but the ult from the Odin comes out, and Wrecking Logic is forced into the arena. Can they win the boxing match when it's a 2v1? Flash Gordo drop low, Wrecking Logic as well, and Flash Gordo will manage to get it as the shield pops, and they'll manage to win the lane. But here comes Crooked Stick. Crooked Stick wants it. He's gonna choose to go on to Carol, the Awelish, managing to dodge the bat out of hell, sits inside a tower, and actually looks to re-engage possibly. Pulls out a tower, takes a little bit of damage from Crooked Stick, and decides, never mind, I think I'm fine with just sitting back in the fountain.
A little bit too much damage than what they liked, but you know, it's these solo laners, man, building power. It's these solo laners building power first item. You know, Hercules going Bluestone, Frostbound, getting 0 prots whatsoever. If he went Warrior's Axe into one of the hammers, I would have agreed. Oh my god, getting solo over here in the duo lane. Understandable, it's Medusa. Can't take that fight ever.
Yeah,
I'm proud of him that he tried to take the fight. I'll give it to him, but you don't win that fight. I'm sorry to say, Expo. You gotta win the poke war and not take any damage yourself. And good luck against Acid Spit, honestly. Acid Spit's always gonna hit you. But yeah, these I don't know about the Bluestone on Hercules. Maybe a Warrior's Axe. Oh my gosh, everyone's just fighting.
That's
It's an arena match over here.
That does a lot of damage to Kai. Kai's forced to pull away, and through the wall, jump, Protector of Olympus, down, but Z-Tantalus now, the Eggshell fighting for their life, trying to peel for themselves, dies, but sets up a kill, and Dablama now set up in the 2v1. This is not the kind of double date they want to be on. The cat jumps onto them, pounced, and they will immediately fall. The Athena cannot ult from the fountain in time, and that is going to be a Kappa Corp fight win as it swings their way fairly well, despite being so pushed up into the jungle.
That was a really good fight, honestly, for Kappa Corp. Can't ask for anything more, honestly. Wilix getting what was it, 3 kills, getting a triple over on that side. Again, now 4-0-2. Great lead, 2-level lead up on this Camazotz right now. And your E-Shell, your mid laner, 1v2ing in the back and still killing the Baba Yaga. And then I end up getting the knock-up, and I think they just died the Bluestone tick by the Medusa, which was just unfortunate. Can't ask for more. That fight was played really well. Cage coming out, bat out of hell. Not enough damage. Ooh, I don't know about shooting that though. We're a little bit. Ooh, we're jumping the gun here. Looks like we're getting a little aggressive here.
Rotate. Wrecking Logic. Can you survive all of this magic damage coming your way? Yes, you can. You're gonna take a lot. Oh man, never mind. I thought the Herc was going to walk away from that with 3/4 of their HP, but they're gonna regain most of it from their 3. Going back up the half, gonna pull back the fountain anyway. That was a little bit rough there for a moment, and that bat out of hell, Crooked Stick almost managed to get away with a kill there twice over. Instead, it does find their death, and not a great outing from the Camazotz so far, I will admit. They early on tried to get some fights going in mid, and now they're kind of suffering the consequences of that. Is there any way back in this game? Is there anything they could focus on? You see Elliston have a little bit of trouble, but he will manage to get away from this, I assume.
This is like how game 1 oh, good gank over onto the dual lane side. Ends up getting the kill. Beats Force on the X-Ball. Cama's coming in. I think it's just a retreat call. Geb's here for the peel. Felix looks like she wants to fight still, though.
Kai getting jumped on by the Athena, but the Athena does not have enough damage to secure. Crooked Stick. They've pulled up to the fight. They're going to roll away in a hearse if they're not careful. Wrecking Logic on the rotate. The Hercules in the 1v3 manages to pop Carol's shield. Brought to you by the Geb. Elliston managed to save Little Wheelish, most likely. An elite sniper. Also, still fine and dandy. Going to be able to secure this pick. We're gonna be doing pretty good for ourselves here for Kappa Corp. The fight's going our way handedly.
This is what I like to see by this Geb, you know, playing that defense, just being patient. If they did this on Sobek, I think game one could have went very different. But this playing patient is working so well right now. Baba Yaga getting caught out. That's her dash caught inside an Odin cage, ult forced. I don't think she's. Oh my god, Wheelix is here. I think she might just be dead.
Even inside of the walls, eventually everything falls. Wheelish managed to catch Pancake Trousers. No way to hop that picket fence. And be pulling for BDK here. Crooked Stick on the outskirts. Wrecking Logic pulling up as well. This could be a 2v3 fight, but no, they pull away. Don't trust the steal potential, especially with that Herc ult down. Alright, so Kappa Corp are pulling ahead. They need to put on the afterburners. They're not that far ahead. Only a little bit of gold, a lot of XP to be noted. But they really got to put on the afterburners. They got to take this lead and leverage it somehow. And with Beacon coming up soon, I think a rotate for the Beacon and winning that fight could be just...
Yeah. Great pick in mid. I'll take it. The 2v3 in mid and they get the kill.
2v3, yeah. On the camera too. That camera's been struggling.
Yeah, honestly, it's a huge XP lead, and it's mostly on jungle. Not really anywhere else. Gold XP could be a lot higher. They're not doing the Gold Fury. You know, first Gold Fury was pulled early on by King's Court last game because of a really good fight that they had over in the dual lane. But Kappa Corp not really opting for a Gold Fury. This is the first Gold Fury I believe gives more gold than all the other Gold Furies. Like it's a pretty good Gold Fury to get in the very beginning. So if you can get that before first Beacon, it's honestly amazing, because if you lose Beacon, you might lose gold. But if gold's down after Beacon fight, it's not too much of a worry they got Beacon, unfortunate, but at least you got gold earlier. Triple gang.
Everyone's jumping on this Medusa, cannot allow them a moment apiece. Kai does pull up to the party, but not in time, and they're going to have to either contend with 3 members alongside Wrecking Logic. Just want to push them away from this T1, it seems. This is not a very smart fight to take, in my opinion, but seem to think otherwise. And they do manage to force Kappa Corp to rotate to Beacon. That has came up in the interim. That being said, the fight's not going their way. Actually, King's Court forced off of the Beacon. Not a lot to be done there. Circling around now. Wrecking Logic trying to displace. Gets stunned immediately. Does go ahead and push in. The Odin cage comes out. And the Hercules is gone. That being said, Carol almost finds himself in the fountain as well, but they, on a sliver of health, managed to pull away. Kai trying to save their teammate, Pancake Trousers, 1 HP. That's not enough. Tancheless to secure the kill. Kai's gonna have to retreat, and the Medusa nowhere to be found. The Kamazats trying to find solace in the jungle, just with some XP and farm. King's Court entirely routed Kappa Corp with an easy Gold Fury.
Yeah, this is what you need to see from Kappa Corp. A much cleaner game so far on this game too. Everyone's playing a lot better, focusing on these targets. That fight in mid was a little bit split, it looked like, especially with this Wheelix going in with no beads, quarter HP, and almost getting soloed by the Athena. Very questionable, but you know, this first Beacon's still not picked up here. They're dropping the Beacon to try and kill this Athena. I don't know if dropping Beacon to try and kill Athena here is a great idea, whereas the King's Court are going to get their first BDK as it's going down 200 HP to 100, and it's now gone. First BDK over to the King's Court at the 13-minute marker. Not too bad, honestly. That's going to be the last BDK too. as Fire Giant does spawn at the 15-minute marker. Pyro is up. You see show no mana, but King's Court just are sleeping. They took BDK, said, all right, thanks for having us, and kind of left. Whereas another neutral farm is still on the map. I don't know
Arguably a
what
more
King's Court is
important
really doing. They're just I don't know.
I think they're afraid to take map control at this point. Something they did very well last game. They were not afraid to get in Capricorn's face at any point in the game. King Court said, "One for the smoke, you got it," and then gave it to him. And cooking brisket over there. And this game, they're on the low burner right now. They're just keeping things warm, trying to not burn anything. Especially don't want to burn the house down. Just King's Court in a time. They can make a comeback still. They're not that far behind, all things considered. A 3k gold deficit is nothing to scoff at, but it is
Yeah.
overcomable.
It is. It's not that much of a deficit where you can't come back. I'll say that. You're not at the 9k deficit. I'd say anything at right now, at this point in time in the game, you need a 9k deficit for you to be unable to come back anytime soon. But with a 3 to 5k deficit, oh my gosh, Expo dashing in here, getting Athena ulted and Medusa ult. He has no dash to get out of here.
Is he gonna win this fight?
Steal.
Elite Sniper.
Oh my goodness.
He certainly earns the title in the 1v2. Does not give a two cares in the world. Crooked Stick on the run from Carol, no backup. Managed to hit that ability, but the Wheelish will secure it with just a sliver of HP. And Kai forced back once more. Kappa Corp not afraid in these fights, and they will manage to secure another fight. And they don't have a way to leverage this win, but this is a symptom of a deep problem that King Court suffers from.
Yeah, for an X-Ball to get away with not only dashing in, losing their beads, not having a dash to get away from both a Medusa Athena, killing the ADC, living, getting 2 stacks on their rage because of it as well. This is just looking like an uphill battle for the TKC. I don't know, honestly. Just secure farm right now and try not to lose objectives, but don't really have that objective steal or secure on either team, mind you. This is probably where those bombs are going to come in handy. If not used on objectives, probably going to be used on those Phoenixes, as most people do kind of hold them for tomorrow. Don't really use them. Do forget that they do secure objectives, and most people do just kind of use them for the tower damage, for that Phoenix damage. Looks like some damage check happening over on this Hercules. Maybe even a kill happening. Gets
Thinking
away.
enough?
Oh.
Mr. Unkillable Warrior? No? Dead? Alright, cool. Goodbye.
No,
See you later.
He definitely goes down there. I don't know about having 4 people rotate over, but maybe teleporting over to try and get a little early on the Medusa ult. That is so unfortunate.
Flash Gordo super low, drops the cage for the fight. And the fight commences basically just being a sponsor for the arena. Carol takes a lot of damage, bat out of hell overhead, doesn't secure any of the kills yet. As the Camazotz hits that backline, trying to fight Elite Sniper, is not getting this kill, but does manage to eke it out in the end. But elsewhere, 2 more kills swing King's Court favor. And this is the first advantage they've had in a fight in a while.
Alright, I just want to say right now, there was a, 3 to 4k gold lead on the side of Capricorn. Yet 2 shutdowns. There's the gold lead. Smite. This is why the shutdowns were not a thing back before. Because people were still being able to get killed. But now with this shutdown being changed and still being kept to how it is, this game's now anyone's game again. It's the lead is still in XP, mind you. It's still a decent lead in XP, but it's not too much. That gold lead, those items are gonna do more than a level lead right now.
Makes the game more swingy, I would say. That being said, oh, Flash Gordo. Oh no, Gordo, you're just not having fun over there. Tantalus with some artillery fire, but not enough. Uses the ult and try to push everyone away, but even that does not seem to do enough to King's Court. King's Court deciding to drop the Gold Fury. They hadn't even started pulling it yet, so hard to drop that, but they do pull away from it in order to take the fight. But Tantalus with a monstrous damage check. And all of a sudden, the fight swings. Awelish will pull this Kappa bat out of hell into the air. And this might give them the double kill. 1v1 in the jungle here by the junglers. The assassins trade blows. They both walk away limping. Elliston, Kev's just not in a good spot. The Cataclysm to try and stay alive. They're actually doing a pretty good job of it. This might be a re-engage. Flash Gordo, Elite Sniper, into the fray. Lots of damage being taken by Kai and Wrecking Logic. They're going to be very low, but they need to secure those kills. Gordo will get one on the Kai. But the chase is done. King's Court pulling away, and it's going to be very hard to catch them. It's going to be a Gold Fury pull here for Kappa.
Honestly, looked like a great fight by the King's Court. Just kind of pushed a little too hard on the gas pedal by everyone. I think they should have just backed up, done the objective. Probably could have came back into the game. Everything would have been neutral from there. A little unfortunate, but they do end up getting picks. Do end up getting relics. Not too bad. A little sloppy, but not too bad, honestly. The gold lead is still relatively the same, relatively 1,000 gold. The XP is slowly dwindling because max level in this game is 20, and X-Ball's already there. So that XP lead is going to start going away as time goes on. It's just mostly about this gold lead. I'm getting poked out quite a bit, but a good poke coming out from E-Shell as well.
Gordo's taking a lot of damage, and we'll finally receive some backup. King's Court now caught in the cage as Wrecking Logic, taking quite a bit of damage. Kai also taking a lot of damage to support the first one to fall. Gordo gets taken down by the Camazot. Pancake Trousers on the Tantalus, and Carol now forced away by Crooked Stick. This Camazot's doing so much damage, and they do manage to win the 1v1 this time around. And Elliston, once again in Geb, getting taken out last. And that means a Fire Giant pull for King's Court here, with only one member of Kappa Corp up to steal, and that's Elite Sniper. He's not even going to try. He's going to head himself into the left jungle and go for some XP. Just let him have it.
He is going for that starter farm. He is farming up for starter right now. I don't think he rotates ever here, but him rotating here is a little questionable. I don't know how Kappa kind of saw him coming that way. Kappa was running to that red buff and instantly turned and went to mid. I don't know if he just kind of sniffed it out. Yeah, I guess, you know, the Sixth Sense. There's no vision there. There's no minions there either, so I was a little questionable, but is what it is. Could have that Sixth Sense. Some people do have that Sixth Sense in them. Don't see anyone in the jungle. Could be coming from the mid lane.
Left jungle is cleared. He just cleared it, so I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Oris are up.
Where it's like,
Oris were up. Chess camp was up. There was stuff to farm. You could check the enemy jungle. You know they're on FG. Like, you know they were all there, still full HP. You know they're doing one of the two. You gotta look for some invades. Look for some gold here. Trying to make sure the enemy team doesn't get their stuff right. But to each their own. No issues. No complaints. I like how these supports got their anti-crit third item now. Last time we didn't get anti-crit till fourth, maybe fifth item, I believe, last game. So seeing it third, I don't count starters. If everyone's saying it's fourth item, I don't count starters. Starters are not an item, not until full build. They literally cost, what is it, 600 to 700 gold. Yeah. Chump money.
500 if you're a support.
Yeah, I don't count. It's chump money. It's literally chump money. But this T2 defense, I like it.
Yeah, really passive so far. But this Awelish floating around, playing off a ward vision. There is a ward there that's gonna spot out this Hercules. Knows if anyone's gonna push up on them. I believe that was a ward. Actually, I don't think it was. All of a sudden, I'm questioning things, and Carol's gonna be questioning their decisions. Gonna be chased around by Hercules for a minute. I'm gonna hop on the Panther and zoom away. Wrecking Logic has now made their way behind enemy lines. Maybe make this T2 push happen. But a blink and a cataclysm. Kai, you weren't ready. Dab Llama, you weren't ready. And all of a sudden, Wrecking Logic now has to hit the back line. In a desperation move, he'll instantly fall. Pancake Trousers, next up, eaten alive. No, he's still alive. He can get away with just barely any health. Carol, you're not going to get out of this, unfortunately, but Crooked Stick, neither are you. Bat out of Hell is down. And while it could have been a deicide, Pancake Trousers gets away. Kappa Corp are going to have to take what they can get.
Great defense, honestly. That blink cataclysm into an Odin ult. That's what you want, especially on the Athena that has no beads. Medusa getting caught out there and just getting blown up by an E-shell. It looks like they used beads, didn't get time to push Aegis, maybe just pushed beads and thought they were out, but the damage just came a little bit too fast. Don't know what exactly happened, but yeah, great play by Kappa Corp there, just comboing their ultimates off of each other. Trying to catch Kappa Corp lazy backing. I find a lot of these people in this division lazy back. I don't know what it is, what you need to back so fast to get your item for. Nothing's up.
Bad manners. You gotta show them you don't care.
I don't know if that's just bad manners or that's, you know, just, hey, I can do this in front of your face, or it's an ego thing, or I don't know. But one of the first things you learn in comp smite, at least, I don't know about regular smite, but comp smite, is don't lazy back. Lazy back can screw your team over. Not only you, but your whole team, because then it's a 4v5. Honestly, what TKC is doing right now isn't too bad. You know, I know they just lost the FG, but they got it off a fight that they got from a Pyromancer fight, which is perfectly fine. Didn't get really anything off of it, which is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, did technically take it away from Kappa Corp. So small wins, technically, I guess, small wins. But Camo over here, Crooked Stick, has been doing God's work. Killing people, getting relics, and just doing what Camo needs to do is just run at the back line and hopefully kill 1 or 2 people by the time the team can save them. Hopefully his team can do something about the front line or the back line as well, or help him out. Questionable on the duality, but I'll take it, I guess. Doesn't really have anything to proc it off except for Titan's Bane. The only thing that he's procking
On the auto? That's, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Soul Eater gets
Yeah.
a little bit more HP steal, right? Because it gives off of auto or off of abilities, it gives more HP steal for
Soul
abilities.
Eater, yeah, like it gives your
It's still a
abilities
questionable
heal.
one for sure.
Yeah, like I mean, if you went Bluestone first, great. If you went Crusher or Heartseeker, cool. But yeah, that duality is just procking Titan's Bane right now. So before it wasn't procking anything. Great poke coming on a Kai, half HP already off of just 1 rotation of abilities. This is what you like.
Oh wait, Elite's, there's a carry 1v1 that a Wrecking Logic came to interrupt. Interrupting he does, but not very well. The Streaker's taken off the field, and that is going to be 2 picks for Kappa Corp. And they're so close to Fire Giant already. I mean, heck, why don't we just grab it as we go? Odin's going to be playing this spacing game, but Carol trying to take down Pancake Trousers will get taken down themselves as the Amazon comes and rotates over. Now, Fire Giant being pulled. Kai sees this, enters the Fire Giant pit. Not able to steal himself with Athena very well, but this Bat out of Hell might just be able to. King's Court do manage to steal, and now Kappa Corp on the back foot. Do not have Fire Giant. Elite Sniper gone. This is looking like a deicide if they're not careful. Crooked Stick. So low HP, but they can be such a menace if they jump into this fight here, and they're going to get onto this Geb. Elliston forced to shield himself, but Tantalus with a great ability does drop them low, doesn't get the kill, but will manage to make the retreat work.
Yeah, I think Carol is living on that early game high a little too long. right now. Running at a Baba Yaga at full HP, getting the beads and just not taking the win. A little questionable. We have to remember beads is on like a 2-minute cooldown on upgraded. Just your abilities are what 17 seconds at most if you don't have cooldowns, not counting your ult. Just take the win. Do it again in 20 seconds. If they come back in, your team knows they have no beads, and just wait for your get, wait for your Odin, and do it again. It's. I feel like a lot of people do have to understand this. You get beads, that's a win. You get Aegis, that's a win. Just wait 20 seconds, do it again. That's all it is. Ending up losing fire. Mind you, it's only on 3 for the King's Court. But just unfortunate events. Getting ult forced out by Geb here before this T2 defense. I don't know how this T2 defense is going to go now.
Yeah, but we'll be back. Elliston will be present for the defense. Kai will not be present for the assault. Steps in the tower and saying, hey team, you ready to take T2? Take an early trip back to the fountain. Carol tries to flood. I believe that was beads out. And so King's Court, even in the 4v5, still holds strong, still have 2 members with Fire Giant buff up. Elliston showing no respect, steps up, gets knocked down a peg, all the way down to a quarter HP. Here comes the boulder rolling through the beach ball, taking everyone low. Wrecking Logic has to back off that though. Crooked Stick trying to secure more kills. This Camzots is really heated up in this late game, but won't secure anything so far. The blink comes out, misses the player lazy backing. Or rather, maybe just trying to sneak a back. All right.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a lazy bet. That was a jump back. You know, that was good. I'll give you that because you can't go north. You go north, minions are gonna spot. You're gonna stop your back. You can't go south because the enemy team is there. Jump back, great play. I'll give that. That was very nice. Unfortunate for Kai there, dashing into the tower. Just didn't seem like everyone was on board. It looks like Pancake kind of just stayed from the last fight. Dies to the Odin cage. Oh goodness, this fight does not look like it's going TKC's way.
Right, no. Still one.
Gets
one.
one.
Oh, never mind.
Like
Gravity surge. Good. Hercules' health bar. Man. Logic's gotta be sweating bullets right now, but trying to peel for Kai will force Tantalus away. Their abilities are currently down. There's no way Kai steps back up. He's gonna instead back in the jungle. Crooked Stick hits that backline hard. Carol is gone. Elliston just waiting for the cavalry to arrive, and so does Flash Gordon Tantalus. Wrecking Logic trotting behind, but will not be able to save Crooked Stick in time, it looks like. Indeed not. The blink in from the Hercules, but too little too late, and they might have just forfeited their own life trying to save a teammate. As it goes sometimes, this Hercules is gonna try to find something, but instantly demolished. Kai steps up, does actually manage to catch Tetris. That beach ball just bounced a couple too many times and does manage to take out.
I think that was Pyromancer that killed the D-Shell there. I think
Oh,
Pyromancer
are you
was the
serious?
MVP of that fight. Yeah, if you looked at the very beginning of that fight, when not beginning, at the very end of there, when Hercules was running through that Pyromancer, E-Shell hit the Pyro, trying to get that knock up, and was staying in the Pyro pit the whole time. Could have walked out, but just kept tanking the Pyromancer, and I think just that Pyro got MVP for the TKC killing E-Shell there. I don't know if you noticed in that fight there before Kama died. It seems like Kappa Corp is trying to ping out Crooked Stick. Being in the back line, being in the middle of mid lane there, and only having a Wheelix and Geb on it. This Kama is doing God's work for TKC. If Kama dies at the beginning of these fights, I don't know if TKC wins these fights. Kama is doing a lot here.
Yeah,
His
and a lot of these
presence
isn't
is
showing up on
insane.
forward either.
It does show on the, he's 11.
It does.
He's
11 and 9.
he's 13 out of the 22 kills. If that says anything. So
He's 13
9
of
of
22.
yeah,
but
so 9 out of the 9 kills that the TKC got was without Kama. So 65%, is that 65% roughly?
not exactly, but about, yeah.
Yeah, roughly, thank you. Math isn't really a great thing of mine at 9:48 at night on Eastern Standard Time. But He's 60%. So you need Kamma there for a 60% chance to kill, essentially, is what I'm getting at. If Kamma's not there, your chance to kill is lowered substantially right now.
But the other thing is that Kamma's not there for a lot of that fight. Where do you think those other 9 kills are happening? Kamma's hitting that back line, forcing them to split their vision. The other 9 assists is, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are on the other players, on the other fight. Turn this fight into 2 fights, basically. The fight in the front and the fight in the back. The fight in the front is down a man or 2 because they're forced to deal with the Kamma. Now, Kappa Corp forced back immediately by King's Court. The presence, 5-man strong walking up is just too much. They respect it, and they have to pull back. Fire Giant being pulled here. Crooked Stick on the prowl. Sees Elliston. That's not one of the targets they want. The Cataclysm dodged expertly, and Elliston will be ult down for the rest of this fight. Flash Gordo hops in, drops the cage. Only managed to catch Kai, but they immediately ghostly out. And so, with all that being said and done, it's a lot of trades back and forth, but if I am honest, I'm favoring King's Court in this exchange.
These fights, I don't know if the King's Court does get the win for the exchange. A lot of their abilities can't go over walls. Their jungler can't go over walls, their Medusa can't go over walls. Mind you, X-Ball can't go over walls, but a Wheelix can with that knockup. Do have to be a little bit careful. You're getting a little aggressive on the King's Court side.
Dragon logic. Okay. Because in the thick of it, the Hercules is still healthy for it. Carol trying to isolate that Medusa, does manage to do so. Dablum taken down. Pancake Trousers with a nasty shot over the wall. Managed to catch the Ixchel. Potentially is going to be back to the fountain. And Carol now, deep behind enemy lines, wanting to not be spotted, playing that spy. And, oh man, Ellison, you are in a world of hurt. Everyone from King's Court who's still alive is over in this mid lane, causing a lot of damage for this Geb. Forced back, will not be able to hold T2. The Hercules, with the dash, pushes him out of the Phoenix, but Carol steps up to the plate. So much damage, managed to make a kill happen on 2 members, at least managed the assist. Elite Sniper also on that backup, and all of a sudden, King's Court, who had the advantage not too long ago, are now in full retreat.
See, this is what happened last fight as well for King's Court. King's Court get a pick on the mid laner and then just push. They're pushing, they're chasing. I don't understand the chase. Take the pick. It's 1-for-1, 4v4 now again, because you lost your ADC to the jungler from Kappa Corp. But Wheelix getting your ADC just getting away from the team and trying to run away to get a back off. Understandable, but kind of unfortunate. I don't know about this FG call though. It's a little questionable on my behalf.
Yeah, the CFG, 37 minutes in, uber important, but that means that you don't want it stolen, you don't want to lose it, you don't want to lose your life around it. At this point, a good deicide of a good 4K, and you might be looking down the barrel of a loss. And that's unacceptable, especially if you're Kappa Corp. If you forfeit the win here, there is no game 3. You simply go home. You go 0-2 and you go back to bed. I mean, it's time for a nap. Good sniper. Pull Pyromancy. Managed to get that done. And EFG, forethought now, or an afterthought for now. Everyone just kind of steps away from it. King's Court managed to take control back of the mid-map. I will say, at this point in the game, King's Court, for everything that they've done, they're now behind in gold. You still look in Kappa Corp are ahead in kills. I mean, it's not by much. Let's be clear. That now 1K. It's basically nothing. This is basically a tied-up game despite the 37-20.
Everyone's got full builds. There is no gold difference. There's no XP difference. Everyone's tied right now. It's an even game. It's anyone's game. I'll say it once right now. I don't know if everyone remembers it. But I always go by clause 34. If the game gets to 34 minutes, anyone's game. 100% all the time. Clause 34. If it gets to 34 minutes, it's anyone's game. You get a team wipe, you can either get FG, sweep everything, and then your gold lead is insane. You have 3k pots, you can change your build around, all this stuff. Or you can just run it down mid if you get a team wipe and just end the game, because their timers are just a minute long. But this is just looking a little bit too back and forth. Like right now, Kappa Corp have 4 bombs in their pocket. 4. I want to see them force something. You have 4 bombs. Nothing is out securing you. Either
Oh
oh, good
no! Woo!
beads.
What jukes!
That was a really good beads.
Really good beads. I like might have also just missed the damage there. Elite Sniper though.
Goodness.
Beads or not is going to get absolutely ability dump and just tint back the fountain. That's a unfortunate, especially when you're losing your ADC. That could be critical in securing some of these more tanky gods. That being said, a Wheelish is an expert in dealing with one target. The Hercules and the Athena together might be too much, but for now, it's gonna be a pull around Fire Giant for the most part. Everyone is except for the jungler and the soul. Oh, Carol turned on. Crooked Stick manages to win that fight. Fire Giant being pulled, and now in the 3v5, Kappa Corp have a lot of questions to answer. Don't know if they're gonna pass this test. I don't know if they studied because they're just gonna head back home and hope for the best.
Yeah, I said it earlier. Carol's just living on that early game high. I don't know. They blinked, didn't push 3, went for an auto. Camo beads late after hearing the blink and still didn't even turn around to stop the knockup happening. Didn't have jump.
Oh, Pat out of hell. Sends Tantalus to hell. Sends Elite Sniper to hell. That is a nasty. A third for Elliston. Can he get them all? He drops Flash Gordo low. They push deep into the Titan. Now, the Titan, the target. It's all up to Flash Gordo to stop it, but it's not going to be stopped. King's Court once again managed to take down the Titan and secure game 2 for the easy 2-0.
MVP goes to Crooked Stick. I don't care what anyone says. Like Kama just did so much. I don't like. I understand getting the pick on Kama there, but the play from Wheelix there at the very end was questionable. I don't know. Blink Auto is gonna do for you. You're not a crit Mercury. If you're a crit Mercury, yeah, Blink Auto. Oh my god, yeah, do it. But Blink Auto on a Wheelix, no, I that was questionable. That just kind of threw the game for them. I think the only way that Capricorn probably could have came back from that was Odin going in there and dropping both his bombs on EFG and hoping to steal it, and just buying time with Cage. Cage run away, run towards the enemy towers, or run towards their spawn, buy time for your E shell and your X ball to spawn back up. Or sorry, it was your X ball and your Wheelix to spawn back up, but just ended up backing off and not really doing too much. Again, just had 4 bombs in their pocket, just got so many pyromancers and did nothing with it. If you're gonna do pyro, the best thing about pyro is the bomb. It does 1,000 damage to towers. It does 1,000 damage to objectives. But if you're just gonna hold them, it's gonna decrease how much wards you place. I think Odin was holding 2. If I'm not mistaken, I think he probably warded 6 times, and this was a 40-minute game. I average what I think you should average a ward every 3 minutes, and this
Okay.
was a 40-minute game, so roughly 10 minimum is what I. Yeah, 26 words
Pancake
coming
Travis
over
is
from
having the
Pancake.
vision.
Oh my
Have
goodness, yeah,
glasses on,
like
man.
yeah, he had the X-ray vision going. I think that's a little too much money spent on wards. That's a lot of money spent on wards. I'm pretty sure that he could have probably bought a 3K pot with how much they were dancing around, not really doing too much objectives, and just probably sitting on gold. I don't know how much gold they were probably sitting on. Did an objective here and there. I don't know if they did buy a
Yeah.
3K pot. If they did buy a 3K pot, is what it is. But yeah, it's around that 10 wards is where you should probably average it. Like I said, a ward every 3 minutes is understandable.
What's
Um, but yeah, I think MVP goes Crooked Stick. Like he did everything I think on that team. Like he did. Not only did he win his ones, he got relics and he got kills. He
Yeah.
did more than was what is asked for of a jungler. Usually, you just tell your jungler, "All right, go suicide bomb, kill one person, even if you don't get their shit out. If you die, it is what it is." He did more than what was asked of any jungler.
Definitely a nightmare for the side of Capricorn. And this was a this was a tragic game to watch because Capricorn had such a good team comp. We talked about the Geb needing to play a
They
little bit more passive.
played
That was
it
the
so
only
well. They
question.
played it
I
so
did so
well.
well too. Odin's cages were perfect for like 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah, the Geb
Perfect.
Blink ults were great as
Eggshell,
well.
perfect abilities, hitting so much damage. Everything was
I don't.
working to perfection. And then a Wheelish was doing great early game as well, like you were saying, right in that early game high, being a menace that no one could stop. And then all of a sudden, it felt like the magic was gone.
Yeah,
The spell had
I
ended. The
I
clock
I
had struck
agree.
midnight, and TKC, they bring it back from behind. They secure the game too, take a very solid win for themselves, and they're going to be sleeping good tonight with that information, even
Yeah,
if they are playing the God of Nightmares himself. So,
yeah.
unless you have any more statements to say, Marsh, I think that's it for me.
No, other than Ishel played great. I have no issues with how Ishel played. Ishel played perfect by the book. I don't think they could have done anything better to bring that game back. Honestly, I think they were MVP on their team. Game two, they definitely stepped up from the Thoth game one. Um, but yeah, I think Capricorn have to learn that you can't ride the early game high for as long as you think you can. People get items, people level up. I don't know what to say. You just can't ride that early game high. Just didn't have that draft. And Wheelix is an early game god, not a late game god. She's an early to mid game. Once it gets that late game, you're kind of a dead god. You have to play with the team.
Oh. With all those words of wisdom being imparted upon us, it's been great having you here on Quackin' tonight, Marsh and Tess. Thank you for the broadcast. Thank you, everyone, for showing up, tuning in. But until next time, it's been Quackin'. It's been great. See you later.